here on the Fireside Chat today, I have Stacey Barlow-Hill, and she's a leadership coach. So she's really going to be talking to us about why personal growth is essential for your success, and sharing some tips and strategies for us to move into leadership positions, how to develop our leadership skills, and all of that. So let's get to meet you, Stacey.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm a leadership and lifestyle coach, but my career began about a decade ago. I am an event planner. I've had a company called Encore Event Design for the last decade. I started as a solopreneur and have now grown it to a team of 12. Over the decade, I just learned a lot. I learned about just leadership and team building, and that it really takes that the personal growth and then the leadership skills that really help you to catapult to success. Mm-hmm. And it takes me a while to figure that out. So my whole mission in life right now is to coach others through that.
So let's talk about personal growth. When we say personal growth, some people might not be clear on what we mean by personal growth. So when you say personal growth is essential for your success, what do you mean by that?
Absolutely. It means, and one key word that you kept saying was intentional. You have to be intentional about personal growth. Personal growth doesn't just happen. It's not something that you just land upon. Like, you have to be intentional about it. And usually once you get a taste of it, for most people, it's something that becomes almost addictive because you immediately see results from personal growth. Mm-hmm. So personal growth can look like reading books, listening to podcasts, taking a course, hiring a coach, improving your health, your lifestyle, anything that is going to personally impact you so that you can be better to impact others. Your personal growth is so important, especially as a leader, because you can't lead someone if you're not at a certain level. You need to kind of be above where they are, because you have to be able to pour into them. So if you're at the same level, you're not able to lead. So you have to continually be able to improve yourself and to better yourself and to gain knowledge and to become that expert in your industry and an expert at yourself, because you have to be able to lead yourself before you effectively lead others. So it's just so important. And like I said, a lot of people they don't realize it until they tap into it. And once you tap into it, it just becomes addicting, and it's just something that you just want to continue forever, and you should continue forever. Self-development should never be a period where you stop. You should always be striving to be better and to do better.
When it comes to personal growth, what are some strategies we can implement to start growing, personally, so that we can evolve and everything around us can evolve, our businesses, in our careers? What are some strategies we can start using today to start seeing some growth in our personal lives?
Sure. So the first thing I tell people is, don't expect to be this whole new person overnight. You're not going to read a book and suddenly be a completely different person. It's going to take you some time. Yeah. It's going to take intentionality. It's going to take action. It's going to take follow through. It's something that you're going to have to put into practice daily. You're going to have to live this to really see your results. So I tell people to first get clear. Clarity is such key when it comes to your personal growth and your success and your development, because if you're not clear on what it is that you're trying to do, everything else is just going to be fog. You're going to be saying yes to the wrong things. You're going to allow the wrong people into your spaces. You're going to take on the wrong clients. Everything is just going to not make sense if you're not clear on what it is. And a lot of times we get burnt out and overwhelmed because we're not clear on what it is that we're trying to do. So clarity is really key when it comes to your personal growth. Why do you want to grow? Who are you trying to help? Who do you want to lead? What are your goals? What are you aspiring to be? So that's the first thing that I usually tell people: get clear, get super clear on what you want, because clarity is going to bring about motivation. It's going to eliminate some of those fears that come along with what it is that you're trying to do. It's going to help with the burnout, because when you're clear, you allow things into your circle and into your space that align with what you want to do. If you're clear about what you want to do, you're going to be able to say no to those things that no longer align with your journey, that no longer align with your purpose. So being super clear on what you want.
How do we find purpose? How are you able to tell us about some steps we can take or what we can do to find purpose. A couple of people, may have been in the same role for a while or doing the same thing, but they're not exactly fulfilled in the work that they do. They just work because they have to work and pay the bills. How can one really, find purpose?
So a quick way, you can journal. I find that journaling really helps you to just kind of unleash things that you may have not even known that you were thinking about. Creating a list of your strengths and your weaknesses. That helps, things that you're good at. A lot of times we have gifts and talents that come so natural to us that we don't understand why nobody else is doing it, or can't understand why everybody's not doing this thing that comes so easily to me. That's a gift. That's a talent. That can be your purpose. A lot of times your talent, your natural talents is in alignment with your passion and purpose. But a lot of times, because it comes so natural to you, you don't understand why everyone else is not doing it. And another thing I tell people is that your passion doesn't always have to be something supersized. In your purpose, it doesn't have to. Your purpose does not have to be the president. Your purpose does not have to be an ambassador for a country. Like, you don't have to have some supersized, like out of reach purpose. Your purpose can simply be to encourage others, to help someone else find their way, to help bring out something in someone that they didn't even know they had. So there's so many things. So when you start to think in terms of that and not thinking that it has to be something that is going to change the whole world, maybe you just need to change your family first, or maybe you just need to change your environment first. So get in your own head and stop comparing yourself to others, but really just starting with getting everything out of your brain.
For a lot of professionals, when we're looking to move up, in our careers, or looking to maybe start a business, or looking to really follow our passion, because sometimes we just get out of college and we take a job and we're just in that role, and at some point there's that awakening, like, okay, I need to do what I'm really passionate about. There's that limiting belief, like, can I really do this? Can I get into this position right now? Can I make this transition in my career? Can I start this business? What are some ways we can overcome these limiting beliefs?
There's an example that I love to give. I have twin girls. They're 13. When they were about maybe 7 or 8, they came home from school one day, and they've been in the same classes. They get the same grades academically. They do exactly the same. So for them to come home with the same exact grades on this day it wasn't a big deal. So they came home, and one of them, they had a whole stack of papers, and they all had A's, and they had one C. So one came in the house and she had the whole stack of papers and she had the A on the top. And she said, "Mom, look," she said, "I got one not so good grade, but I got a whole bunch of other good grades." And she said, "Look, look, look." And she was so excited. And the other one came through the door. She had the C on the bottom of the pile. And she was almost in tears. And she goes, "Mom, I got to see, so it's the end of the world." And she could care less about all the A's that she got. And she focused on that one C. And I use that example. They are identical twins. They're so identical that Ancestry.com thought they were the same people. They share DNA. They look exactly alike, but they had completely different mindsets about that same exact situation. The same situation. Both of them had all A's and one C, and one was almost in tears, and one was able to see all of the beauty and all the good things that she did in that. And it's such a real life example of how we can train our brains. We can have the same exact situation. You can wake up and face everything that's coming at you that day and take on the mindset of, I'm going to get through this day. I'm going to conquer it. I am aligned with my purpose. I know what I'm doing this for. I know that everything on my calendar today is getting me closer to where I need to be. So I am going to do this with a smile on my face and know that I'm getting closer to where I want to be.
Yeah.
The person with the same calendar could wake up and think the exact opposite. So it really, honestly, simply comes down to you have to make the decision to change your mindset and to think positively in all situations. And it really just goes back to the clarity and everything that we talked about before. When you're clear on what you're doing, it's a lot easier for your mindset to shift in the direction with that.
A lot of people struggle with being seen and being in leadership, developing their leadership skills. Mm-hmm. And this is something that you typically speak and coach about, which is really, how to develop this expert leadership skills, right? So let's talk about, developing leadership skills. What are your tips, strategies, or what do you typically share with people who are trying to build leadership skills, but are having these challenges?
So first, you have to dismiss the myth that people are just naturally born leaders. Now, granted, there are some that are born where leadership is it comes easier to them, is what I'm trying to say. Leadership comes easier to some people than others, but you can absolutely learn to be a leader. It's not something that you have to be born with, that you just have to naturally be talented at. You can grow and learn to become an excellent leader. And it first starts with your personal development. And that's why I'm a leadership and lifestyle coach, because I truly believe that your personal development is going to set the path for your leadership. So the more that you grow, the more that you learn, the more that you become an expert in your field, it's going to be a lot easier for you to lead because you have all of this already in you. And now it's overflowing. So you're able to just let it spill into the people that you're leading and growing. You also have to dismiss the myth that leadership is about just being a boss, that it's about just being in charge of people. If you go into it with that mindset, you're not going to be a good leader. And they're called gifts for a reason. They're meant to give away. God gave you to give away. It's a gift. So when you combine your personal growth, your leadership, and your gifts and all that, you become a servant leader. And those are all the types of leaders that people want to follow. If you think of any great leader in our history and our past and our society, the great leaders were always servant leaders. They're ones that bring the best in people. They're ones that cause people to reach their full potential, that allow them to reach higher. They inspire. They're not ones that are taking from people and expecting them to do something for them the whole time. So really, it's just having your personal growth. It's having a servant's heart, using your gifts to uplift others, and to really remember that leadership is not about you. It's not about being a boss, but it's about serving, and that's about helping to bring out the best in those that you lead.
Can we all be leaders? Can we all have leadership skills? So can everyone be a leader?
Oh, I think so. Absolutely. I think anybody can be a leader. Once you get into leadership, it's not usually something that you just ask for. You usually kind of fall into it.
Yeah.
Leadership comes with a lot of responsibility. You have a lot of people that count on you and depend on you. So it's not usually something that people want to do. It's usually something that you fall into, that you have to learn how to do really well, because you need leadership if you're trying to grow your company and grow yourself as an individual. So absolutely, anybody can be a leader.
For a professional who wants to be a leader, who's looking to lead, who's looking to move into being a contributor to someone who is now being a thought leader, who's looked up to, who's mentoring other people, what's your advice for professionals who have this as a goal for them? They want to be able to achieve this, in their careers. What's your advice for them on a final note?
My final note is just to seek help. I mean, I'm a coach, but I have a coach. Most coaches do have coaches. They have mentors. So find someone that can help. It doesn't have to be us. It can be whoever's in your field that can, lead you to where you want to go. But it really helps to have accountability, to have someone that's in your field that has already done that can help guide you. So find a mentor, invest in a coach, invest in yourself. Sometimes we see, the prices of coaching and services and we get scared, but it always comes back to you. As long as you go into the program with the mindset of I'm here to invest in myself, I'm going to show up for myself, and I'm going to take everything that I've learned and use it, it's always going to come back to you. You can't go wrong with investing in yourself. So if you don't have the money for that, find a Facebook group that you can join, find a support group, listen to podcasts, do those types of things. Don't ever let your self-development, your personal development go by the wayside. Always make that a priority. So start with what you can do, but ultimately, try to invest in yourself and take a course, get a coach, do something. But, most coaches have coaches. So it's a good way to go, investing in yourself.